All right, let's talk about a game that we made the prediction when it happened earlier in the season. We said Rams are probably going to win the first one, and then they're going to meet in the playoffs. And depending on where these two teams are, Bucs might kick the shit out of them, Rams might kick the shit out of them, but they're going to meet again in the playoffs. We got that right. They are meeting again in the playoffs. The line is 3. The over-under is 48.5. I clearly did a ton of work on this one. I have a lot of nervous points, so I'm going to let you go first. And,
see how I'll go first here. My prediction, I think I remember pretty clearly, was the Rams are going to win this one, and then the Bucs were going to kick the shit out of the playoffs. Unfortunately for you, Nate, I don't feel as confident in the Bucs kicking the shit out of the Rams anymore.
I don't either.
I mean, just personnel-wise, the Rams have gotten a lot better, and the Bucs have gotten a lot worse due to injuries and players removing their shirts and running off the field. Like they've gotten worse personnel-wise, unfortunately. I think getting Gronk back, was huge and is huge, especially for Tom. I like a Gronk anytime touchdown bet. Love that. I should have mentioned that last week. Didn't. Oh well. But I do like Gronk for anytime touchdown. I can't decide. I'm kind of leaning towards Rams +3. But it's tough, man. You just never know. Just the Rams just randomly lay eggs sometimes too, and I don't really have a pick yet. I really don't. I'm leaning Rams, but I don't feel totally confident with it.
Yeah, I have a lot of nervous matchups in this game, to say the least. A lot of nervous energy going into this one. What I said at the beginning of the season has been 100% true. The only way the Bucs do not win the Super Bowl is two things: injuries and dumb coaching. And both of those are really hitting the perfect storm for this game, because on the injury front, Wirth being down might be the most crucial injury. He's probably the most important player outside of Tom Brady on the offense right now, because we can lose Godwin with the depth we have at wide receiver, but we don't have a ton of depth on the offensive line. It's something I said when we went and did this back preseason in the NFC South breakdown. His replacement and how we shuffle the line is not great, which means we're probably going to have to kick Gronk in if he can't go to block more. I mean, he'll still go out and run, and I would expect him, as we get closer to the goal line, to be more of a passing threat and get the ball out quick. But like, he's going to be blocking, I think, a lot more, which is unfortunate. If Wirth can go, huge. We'll see what capacity out of that. I mean, he's played every snap this year, and he's only allowed 2 sacks, and he's had 1 hold. The man is a stud. And then you have Ryan Jensen inside, who's also banged up. He's dealing with an ankle injury. Now he is going to go and play. How effective will he be? I mean, he's a Pro Bowler type of guy. He's got his hands full with Aaron Donald. Tom Brady's kryptonite is pressure up the middle, though. He hates it.
Oh, yeah.
And that is something where the Rams can really succeed here. And they do a great job of not needing to blitz to get it because of what they have on that front. And so that's concerning. So that's the biggest concern off of that. Then the coaching thing is a concern. Are we going to be able to take advantage of what is a very weak linebacking core in coverage and a really banged up secondary? I mean, the safety play is terrible. So the middle of the field, we should be taking advantage of. I assume Mike Evans is probably just going to be, it's probably going to be a less than normal factor in this game, because Jalen Ramsey, I think, that matchup will be interesting. So we need guys like Tyler Johnson, who I think has a bunch of untapped potential. Now, don't read that into like he's going to be a star, but I think he can be a very good complementary wide receiver. He's going to get a shot in this game. He's going to have to play really well. Gio to the backfield is going to have to play really well. Cameron Brate's going to have to really play well for this offense to go. So that is a nightmare situation, essentially. It's like Wirth can't go. Like, that's nightmarish.
Yeah.
Because then Gronk has to block more, and we can't use him in the middle of the field where the Rams are really weak. Because, like, if he's in and Gronk doesn't have to help blocking as much, holy shit, that man is going to have a career day against that linebacking core. It would be insanity. So, injury to watch. Defensively, I am also very nervous because which Rams team is going to show up? I'm assuming the first one, because the last couple of weeks they've become very run heavy. But when they first met, Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay threw the ball 63% on first downs. They identified you can now. Wow, if you look at the stats, the Bucs are giving up the second least amount of yards per pass attempt right now. So you're like, oh, the defense has gotten better. It's like, yeah, as long as you don't attack us on early downs and don't make it obvious passing downs. Like the reason teams get into problems is they get into obvious passing downs. We pin our ears back. We get home on our pressure and we sack you. Like last week, if you go back and watch that Eagles game, we should have gotten torched. If it had been any other quarterback besides Jalen Hurts, there were plays to be made. Like there were some big time opportunities where we should have gotten torched. So I'm a little concerned about that, especially because Stafford is really great at beating pressure. We bring pressure at the highest rate in the NFL. It's not even close to the next one. You know, we have Devin White, who's a phenomenal linebacker, but he's not great in coverage. He's much more of a downhill guy. Levante David, getting him back's huge. Getting Shaq Barrett's huge. JPP, getting him back's big, but he has a pretty significant injury from what I hear and read, and he's probably going to have surgery in the offseason. The secondary was still get Sean Murphy Bunting back. That would be huge. But there are some tough matchups here. Health is the biggest concern. The Rams have not great health in their secondary, and that is why I am very much leaning to a potential over here. Bruce and McVay have met 3 times. Mm-hmm. All 3 times the over is hit. I think that if the coaching is solid for the Bucs and we have a good game plan, which I think Tom will, there are opportunities to score. The Rams are going to have opportunities to score.
Yeah.
I am nervous about the game. I do like the value in the Rams, though. I think the Bucs can. I think the Bucs can win. It's still possible, but it's going to require an A effort. Yeah. And I don't know. I have reservations about our offensive play calling because, as we've seen, Tom Brady has had to take over a good portion of that last year once we left the bye. That offense changed pretty dramatically to one that I saw a lot of in New England. And at various points this season, I've seen Tom change some things. So I am very concerned about our play calling. And I'm concerned about some matchups, to say the least, due to primarily injuries in the way we have to play this game.
Yeah, I don't really disagree with much that you said. Yeah, I think you should be kind of nervous.
Yeah. Also, a stat that terrifies me, and we'll see if he has the same success, but on third down in that first meeting, Matthew Stafford averaged 15.7 yards per pass on third down.
Wow. That's a lot of yards. That's a first down.
Yeah, and then some. They converted on third down at an outrageous rate the first game. So also not something that gives me a lot of confidence, but does help make the lean towards the over, I think, in this one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty convinced on the over, actually.
Yeah. Not my bet of the week. My bet of the week is the next game. I also think right now the way I'm playing this is I'm betting Rams +3, but I'm clearly hoping for a Bucs win, obviously. But I'm taking the value in the 3 because if they do win, I think it's going to be a very close game. Like field goal seems about right. So I'm taking value in the 3. I'd love a hook on that if I could get one, though, but I'll take the 3.
Yeah.
And then you can read between the tea leaves if you want on any other part of that. But injuries are scaring the shit out of me for this game because it's like in my mind, it's like the perfect storms of like the matchup is really bad based on the injuries. Like if we were playing another team, like if we were playing the Packers, these injuries would not matter as much for me. I'd be like, no, we're fine here. I think this is a good matchup. But the guys that we are missing or that are playing banged up versus their counterpart on the other side is just bad matchups back and forth. Yeah. So it's tough. It's going to be tough, but if Worth can go, that could change what Gronk is able to do. If he can't go, I would assume he's going to be blocking a lot, but he will be a big time threat as we get close to the red zone. So I do like touchdown anytime prop. That I think is a very solid bet.
Yeah, I like that.